Look at this. Look at that. Look at that slow, professional-looking zoom out, everybody. As always, our friend Chris Tropia behind the camera. I'm JG Pastor Jack. Welcome to another edition of Grassroots Motorsports Live, everybody. Wednesday night we are back in the shop once again, and tonight we're just gonna hang out and have a little fun and talk about the stuff that we are putting our hands on every time we work on project cars, and some of the stuff that we really dig using. And this is I'll say the disclaimer right at the front of the show. Full disclosure, some of this stuff is stuff that was provided by the manufacturers for our use. Some of the stuff is stuff that we own as a company, and some of the stuff is stuff that is personal stuff that we use. So there's a mixture of everything here. Not everybody you will see tonight are advertisers in the magazine. Some of them are. None of that matters tonight. This is all just about stuff that we are using and that we like. So that's what we're doing tonight. But speaking of advertisers, there are some folks that actually do make this show possible. Talking about our friends from CRC, we're going to be talking about some of their stuff later on tonight on the web, crcindustries.com, or even better, in stores near you. Get some brake clean, get some freeze off, get some carb cleaner, fuel injection cleaner. It's all fantastic stuff. Also, our friends at Koni Shocks, koni-na.com. Shocks for whatever you are driving, from your tow vehicle to the vehicle you are towing to the track with that tow vehicle. Koni has shocks for it online, koni-na.com, or at great retailers like Tire Rack and SPC Industries, Specialty Products Corporation, spcalignment.com on the web. Camber kits, caster kits, camber bolts, control arms, anything you need to adjust your suspension to make it better or to make it right, SPC has it, spcalignment.com on the web. And of course, our friends from Intercomp will be playing another little round of What's It Weigh presented by Intercomp later on tonight, where you get to guess the weight of heavy objects for fabulous prizes. All righty, how's it going, everybody? So I see we got some of our folks over on YouTube tonight. If you're watching over on YouTube, of course, hit that subscribe button. Throw us a like if you can. And you got our crowd over here on Facebook. See a lot of our regulars, and I see actually some of the folks who provided some of these products here tonight. So hopefully, if they're on the table, it's because we like them. So don't worry that we're not going to give you a positive review, because everything here is stuff that we totally dig. So let's just get started. Actually, before we get started, one more thing, and I want to talk about Wear Your Helmet to Work Day. That is coming up October 18th. It is Friday, October 18th. Wear Your Helmet to Work Day is the day that we celebrate our hobby by wearing our helmets to work, and that's the best way to describe it. We're going to be giving away a brand new Stilo helmet for some of the more creative entries from Wear Your Helmet to Work Day. But that is the day that we sort of come out of the motorsports closet and reveal to the world who we are as track rats, as autocrossers, as road racers, as time trialers. And that's the day we wear it loud and proud, baby. Wear Your Helmet to Work Day, presented by Stilo, coming up October 18th. So please share all those photos with us on our social media. We'll be plugging that all day long on the 18th. Maybe you see your photo on our website or on our social media. All right, let's get to it. So this is the point of tonight's show is the stuff that we like, and some of these are maybe tips I'm going to give you, and some of these are products that we're going to use. And all of them, the thing that turns me on about new products is I like stuff that is clever. I like stuff where I didn't even realize that I was asking the question that this is answering. So that leads me to the first thing we're going to look at tonight, and that is the cage gauge. Now, what is the cage gauge? Well, you'd be right to ask, and if you are a fabricator, not just if you are a roll cage builder, but if you are a fabricator of any sort, measuring angles, extending those angles out through planes and through extension is very important to you. Cage gauge, a very simple tool with a very clever modification, is essentially a protractor that measures the angle of something, but it has PVC couplers stuck in it that you can put whatever length of PVC tube you want. You can put an adapter, put thicker tube in here. So if you are building a roll cage, you can not only find the angle that you need to make bends at and measure the proper radius of the bends as it extends, you can put however long of a tube in here you want, and you can extend the ray of that tube out as far as it goes to actually test fitting with the device that you are measuring your angle with. It is incredibly clever. It is $100, built right here in Ormond Beach, Florida. Again, this is something the manufacturer himself, who's a fabricator, dropped it off, said, hey, check this thing out. And it was sitting in one of our sales guys' office. He said, hey, take this and see if it's a thing that works. And my God, what a clever way to modify a device. And I love looking at stuff. Like I love looking at stuff that you sort of know the thought process of the inventor. And I'm speculating here, but this is probably somebody that was building cages or maybe using pieces of bent wire. They had an angle finder. They wanted to. They probably modified their angle finder with pieces of wire or pieces of wood or something, and looked at it and went, holy crap, this would actually be fairly easy to make, and somebody might buy it. So it's not just. So I actually have not used this to build a roll cage, but I have used this to build a carport. Because you can measure angles very, very precisely, can lock it into place, and again you can easily find where this particular straight line is going to terminate. So that is what a great way to start, but with an incredibly simple and incredibly clever piece of stuff. Let's see. Fitz says his guess is I weigh 212. You are very generous, sir. Thank you very much. Mark wants to know, what are those things they robbed off the Millennium Falcon? Oh, when they were in the big worm, you mean? The things that the Minox were eating? I don't know. Probably some kind of capacitor or some sort of I want to say Anulax batteries, but that's the Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll figure it out together. We will get there. Let me see. So Simon Hughes is an anniversary follower. He says, awesome tool. Thank you very much. Brian says, roll cages are overrated. Yeah, roll cages are expensive until you need them, and then they are fairly affordable. So yeah, this was something that impressed us. CageGauge, I think it's cagegauge.com. We'll throw the links up in the chat, but $100, and this is you're gonna go to Lowe's and you're gonna spend about another $20 in PVC to get everything you need. In fact, build your entire cage out of PVC. That's gonna save you a lot of money. Okay, let's move on. Let's let's next move on to some products from the people that support this show. I'm talking about our friends from CRC. We use the CRC stuff in the garage all the time, and there's a few questions that we get about some of the stuff that CRC makes. Like, what's our favorite? Is there anything besides Brake Clean or besides Freeze Off, but besides the stuff we normally see on the shelves, like in Lowe's or Home Depot, that you guys really like? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. Probably my favorite deep cut in the CRC catalog is the QD electronic cleaner. Now, what I'm about to say is not approved by the CRC Corporation International, but between you and me, this stuff is awesome for more than just cleaning electronics. I cannot recommend you use it that way. I can merely say that maybe I have used it outside its original design parameters. It's done great things for me. It's fantastic, theoretically, for taking decal residue off, because it's super paint safe. It's really, really mild, and it flashes really, really fast. Like, you can, Chris, give me a close up here. We'll just spray a little bit on there. Watch how fast that stuff flashes off. And it's gone. I mean, it's just boom, gone. We'll spray it on a little bit. You can see it actually there's some drips running down there, but it completely evaporates, leaving behind nary a trace. It is super mild, and really, really handy. I love the fact that it flashes so completely. So yes, this is my favorite sort of deep cut from the CRC catalog. Now, we also get the question, just see if we have any questions. Yeah, Ian says, roll cage is cheaper than an ER visit, and Brian said, we're referring to the PVC cage. It works until a tech inspector touches it. So I've never done this before, but okay. So one of the sort of hidden advantages and disadvantages to my job is people follow these builds in the magazine pretty closely, and if I show up with a car somewhere, I'm not saying a tech inspector would ever shirk any of their responsibility. I'm just saying that there are times when I have thought to myself, ooh, did I complete that safety related task as thoroughly as I needed to? And maybe I said something like, oh yeah, you've already seen this in the magazine. That never happened. That's a completely made up story. I would never go on track without being completely safe. But yeah, so don't try and bullcrap the safety inspector, I think is what it comes down to. Okay, so let's move on to the next CRC, because this is a demo that I like doing. Let me grab a towel. So people ask me more frequently than I ever thought they would ask me about CRC chemicals. What's the difference between carb cleaner and throttle body cleaner, or carb cleaner and mass airflow sensor cleaner? And there is a substantial difference in one factor, and that is the amount of plastic safety between carb cleaner and between mass airflow sensor cleaner. So mass airflow sensor cleaner is plastic safe. How many plastic intake manifolds are out there right now? How many plastic throttle body pieces are out there right now? Versus carburetors, mostly brass, aluminum, stainless steel, all metal. So not plastic safe, plastic safe. That is the big difference. Where's my little cups here? We'll do our little demo and we'll show you exactly the difference between these two. So we'll put some carb cleaner in this guy. And these are just, these aren't stunt cups or anything. These are just regular PVC, thermoplastic cups. So carb cleaner, fuel injection cleaner, and we'll just let those set a moment. What's going to happen? I don't know. It's a mystery. What could possibly happen when a volatile chemical is sprayed into a plastic cup? And we wait. We need music for this. It's going. Is it raining? Oh my God, Chris, it's raining. So, oh, there we go. Look at that. It worked. So imagine that's plastic components in your engine. Wow, that was awesome. Actually, that was better than it usually works. And you see, this one is still just fine. This is the fuel injection cleaner. So there is. I don't know how much better of an example I can give you than the bottom falling off of a plastic cup just after a few seconds. Extrapolate that to the plastic pieces inside your engine. So that is the difference between carb cleaner and fuel injection cleaner. Now, the upside of that is this stuff is going to remove, that cup is a petroleum product. So this stuff is going to remove petroleum products extremely effectively. So if you've got gummed up fuel on a metal carburetor, good stuff here. If you've got any plastic components, this is the stuff you want to use. That's fun. I love doing those little hands-on thing. Dinesh says in before he bought chem-resistant cups. Yeah, nothing around here is chemical resistant. Let's do, actually, you know what? Let's do one more quick CRC demo, and then well, no, we'll do that after we do the light stuff, because we need some light behind that, and I need some more room. Let us move on. Let's see if we have any questions coming in. Zach says he used to spray brake clean under his boss's styrofoam coffee cup and not tell him. So Calvin says his wife walked in and thought he was watching a magician. Boy, you need to watch way better magicians, is all I have to say. I found out the hard way that brake clean will 100% absolutely melt Crocs. So if you watch the show regularly, you might know that I have been known to wear a Croc or two in my time, and I will frequently wear Crocs around the shop, not for welding anymore, but when I'm cleaning. So if I'm mopping up in here, you're always getting your feet wet. You know, you're moving dirty water around. Crocs are the perfect shoe for that, and that's why everybody wears them in prison while they're mopping. So I'm mopping up in the shop. I'm wearing my Crocs. Luckily, there's no girls around. But I had a little stain on the floor, sprayed some brake clean on it, and went to kind of you know, spooge it around with my foot to rub it in a little bit, and the Croc just melted practically out from under me. So yeah, another good reason to not wear Crocs in the shop. So probably another good reason to not wear Crocs in general. Let's see where we are, see what we're on next. Okay, start working from front to back here and moving stuff out of the way. We deal with a lot of hardware in our shops, and I'm a little bit of a slob sometimes, and I'm trying to get better about that. I'm trying to be really organized, and I'm trying to keep good assortments of hardware around and use stuff like these Stanley Sort Masters to organize all my hardware. And I'm pretty good about that, so I can usually find what I need when I want it. But you always end up with a giant pile of mystery fasteners. And the pile of mystery fasteners, it's ultimately a waste of money, because it's stuff you spent money for. And what's going to happen more often than not is, if you're me, what I was doing is eventually I'd be like, I don't want to deal with all this crap, and you just arm sweep it into a miscellaneous fastener box, and then it goes up on a shelf somewhere, and every 3 years you look for something in it that you can't find anyway. Until I bought one of these, and this is a thread checker. And I can't really say much more about this other than they're 27 bucks. We'll throw you a link on Amazon. It paid for itself the first time I organized stuff. So this is essentially a collection of male and female threaded pieces here. Everything, there's both metric and standard on here, and it's everything from, I think the biggest metric, yeah, an M12 by 175 all the way down to like an M4 on the metric side, and half inch 13 on the standard side, all the way down to I think a 632. Yeah, 632 on the standard side. So 27 bucks on Amazon. The first time you organize a giant pile of bolts, it will absolutely pay for itself, and it's portable enough where you can take it into your car to figure out what size these bolts are holding my seat to the floor, or you can walk over to it with a nut and figure out what size it is, rather than trying a fastener on another fastener and hoping it's right, and like it kind of goes, oh, is this a quarter 28 or a what is a 6mm 1.5, and it kind of goes. So you're like, screw it, I'll put the impact on, and like, oh no, that wasn't the right thing. So yeah, 27 bucks, absolutely worth every nickel I spent on this, and I'm actually thinking about getting another one of these, and just like I do with safety glasses and tape measures, just sort of put them all over the shop, because super handy. That's something we are reaching for all the time. Wow, great tip here from our Facebook audience. Dinesh says the Walmart Croc knockoffs are more resistant to brake clean than actual Crocs. The folks from CRC are actually coming to the $2,000 challenge in Gainesville the end of October. So we might talk to them about that. If they have actually developed a Croc safe brake clean, and we will definitely discuss that with them. Yeah, Dave says that every parts store should have one of these for clerks that can't look up a piece of hardware without a VIN number. Our local Lowe's here actually has a pretty good sort of mounted piece of wood with a bunch of different threaded bungs and male threaded pieces, but it's just mounted right there. Like you can't, you have to put something right on it to use. These are, yeah, you're right. I would hang these every 4 feet in a hardware store aisle if I owned a hardware store. My hardware store is gonna have these all over the place. And if you want one, you just buy it, and I'll mark it up a little bit. Maybe for you, it's gonna be list price, because we're good. We are cool. Okay, so that is the thread checker. So go get yourself one of those. What do we talk about next? Let's go from thread checker to the white pony. Oh, I gotta grab something, Chris. Hang on. Walking into the office and grabbing something. So we're about to have a little marketing lesson here. Hey folks, what better thing is there to make you productive in the shop than this white baggie full of mystery powder? So the folks from White Pony Absorbent were actually handing these out at PRI, Performance Racing Industry Trade Show, a couple years ago. Now, if you turn it around, you'll see that it does have their logo on one side. But if you're walking out carrying this, everybody's going to think you're at a trade show in like 1987, because I probably remember most of the people that hand me a small baggie full of white powder. But that is some hardcore guerrilla marketing right there. So what is White Pony Absorbent? Well, you're all familiar with using kitty litter or oil dry to clean up petroleum-based spills or even water-based spills around the shop. This is the next level of that. This is the Dish Network to the rabbit ears of oil dry. This is the internet to the Gutenberg press of oil dry. It is sort of a next level absorbent that is incredibly efficient, and again, like the cage gauge, like so much of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight, it's a simple thing that works better than I realized something like that could work. I did not know that I could ask for a better version of oil dry, a better version of kitty litter. I didn't realize that was something that was an option to me, and that is absolutely it. And we will give you a little demo here. So this is got this on Free Coroplast Day, which happens right after the first Tuesday in November every couple of years. Go out and clean all these out of your neighborhood, and you have access to lots of free Coroplast. So what we're going to do is we'll spill a little bit of oil out here. This demo is not as sexy as the as the CRC demo because it just sort of disappears. Let me turn the fan off real quick because this stuff is fairly fine. We'll adjust the fan a little bit there. So the only tricky thing about the White Pony absorbent is using little enough of it because it's so efficient that you don't need much. And really the best way to apply it is with like a flour sifter. So I've used less than a teaspoon of this stuff for probably 2 ounces of oil. And it's actually not on there as neat as it could be. So we will take our little brush and we'll brush it around a little bit and kind of go back and forth. Work it in, scoop it up, and it's gone. I mean, this is not a sealed thing, so it's soaked into there a little bit, but you know, little bit of residue that I produced on there, but that's it, and that's all we used. Way more efficient than kitty litter, a little more expensive than kitty litter, but you don't need much of it. And the other cool thing is, so now that I have this, I can throw it back in the same sifter, and through some miracle of science, the way it works is the individual particles in there encapsulate the spill. So anything untouched by the spill is still usable. So I can sift this right back into my main supply of it. And a 5-gallon bucket like this is like 120 bucks, I think. A 2-gallon bucket is like 70 bucks. You will never go through, unless you are just an absolute psycho and you just change oil by draining it on the floor, you'll never go through a 2-gallon bucket in your lifetime. I've had this 5-gallon bucket for over a year now, I think, and I have probably, actually I've been using it out of here for the most part, and I haven't even gone through half of this already. I spill stuff all the time. I'm crazy over here. So that is the White Pony absorbent. Again, it's one of those things like I didn't know that I could even ask for a better absorbent. I didn't even know that it was out there. So yeah, I'm being criticized for displaying political propaganda on the show. Yes, this was a sign for Proposition 4 in Florida, which gave restored voting rights back to formerly convicted and now released felons through a process. It passed, but it's not been a clean path. We're having a little bit of trouble actually getting it implemented. So yes, there's a lot of cokeheads out there that want to vote now, and they're having trouble. Anyway, so Kevin says, can it be used as a clotting agent? Great question. I believe it is completely non-toxic. It probably says that on the thing somewhere. Yeah, it's environmentally friendly. So there's two different questions that exist there. There's, should you use it as a clotting agent, and can you use it as a clotting agent? For the latter, I would say yes. For the former, I would say that depends on how close you are to an actual clotting agent. So, yeah. Buy a 2-gallon pail of this stuff. You will never have to replace it. Throw a little flour sifter in there. It's absolutely fantastic. Cleans up really nice. You can reuse the stuff. I use it. My lift is actually leaking over there a little bit, and rather than fix it, I just keep cleaning up the little spills all the time with White Pony, and they just disappear. Fitz wants to know, will it absorb dissolved Crocs? Probably. We have our first threat from from somebody else running Time Trial Nationals, where we are taking the Corvette next week. We're in sort of the final stages of preparation, getting it moved over from autocross trim to time trial trim. Of course, we were not able to run the SCCA Solo Autocross Nationals because we were stuck here with a stupid hurricane. Looks like we are good to go for next week. So yes, I'll take on all comers in the Unlimited 1 class. It's going to be a very, very tough class this year. We've got the gentleman who was the fast overall from last year, Chris Engel, has moved over to Unlimited 1, and we've got, I was like 4th fastest overall. Chris was 1st fastest overall. We're both in the class. We've got a couple of folks moved in the class that were also very fast and have run fast this year. So it's going to be a tough class. I am really looking forward to it. Oh yeah, it's our guy with the GT350R in Unlimited 1. It's going to be cool. Like there's going to be a lot of noisy, fast, really big winged cars out there in the Unlimited class, which I think is exactly what the SCCA wants. How are we doing on time here? We are getting through it. Let's take a quick break. We talked a little bit about our supporters of the show. We'll mention them briefly now for anybody who's just joining us. Of course, the show is sponsored by CRC Industries, crcindustries.com on the web. Better yet, at a retailer near you. Go to Lowe's, go to Home Depot, go to Advanced Auto Parts, O'Reilly, Napa. Buy that CRC stuff. We love it, not just because they support this show, not just because they support amateur and professional racing at every level, or events like our $2,000 challenge, because it is a fantastic product. And as a little bonus, they support the world that we have fun in. So check them out, crcindustries.com. We're giving away a parts cleaner, a portable benchtop parts cleaner at the $2,000 challenge. So also our friends at Coney Shocks, coney-na.com on the web, or to retailer like Tire Rack, whether you're looking for shocks for your tow vehicle, for your track car, for your daily driver, for your competition vehicle, Coney has shocks for it. Coney-na.com on the web, or at a major retailer like Tire Rack and Specialty Products Corporation, SPC Industries, spcalignment.com on the web. You need control arms, you need camber bolts, you need caster kits, you need adjustable control arms for your 350Z that adjust both caster and camber. I've used them. They're fantastic. You don't have to take anything off to adjust caster and camber. You just loosen some bolts, slide them where you need them, and boom, you are good to go. You need rear lower control arms for your Honda because you lowered your EG Civic, and you got to get those rear control arms back in line. SPC has them, spcalignment.com on the web. And of course, Intercomp will be lowering the vet down onto the Intercomp scales later. You guys can guess the weight. Check them out at intercompracing.com. That is definitely a tool that every shop needs. Yeah, Calvin wants to make it into the 220s. That would, I thought, so here's the cool, Time Trial Nationals is coming up next week at the NCM Motorsports Park. And I'm very excited about it for a couple reasons. I love championship season. I love going to Solo Nationals. When you go to Solo Nationals, you don't know what course you're running. You have no idea. You know you want to be faster than the other competitors, but you don't really have this sort of absolute standard in your mind for how fast you're going to go. I know exactly what I ran at NCM last year. I know what changes I've made to the car. I know what improvements I've made to my own technique behind the wheel. I'm a year into it. I've studied the track. I've been back there for other events and talked to people and explored different lines there. So I have a standard in mind. I have times that I want to go beat. I want to run like in the 213s or 214s this year after running 215s last year. So if I can, I have expectations and ambitions going in that I'm really, really excited about. So. Yeah, and our friend Serpent says he's been 215, but added lots of aero and lost a couple hundred pounds. Yeah, my fast lap last year was a 215.3, and I think the car is good for a 12 something, but if I'm good for a high 13, I'm gonna go away very happy. Anything better than that, even better. If you can't join us at Time Trial Nationals, next Thursday, we're going to be live all day, starting about 11 o'clock a.m. That's going to be 11 o'clock Central Time, so that'll be like noon Eastern Time, with the holiday presentations. There's going to be presentations from Hagerty Insurance, from the track itself. I believe Andy Pilgrim is going to be giving a track talk, or it might be Mitch Wright, or it might even be Matt Busby. Somebody with a million laps around NCM will be giving a detailed track talk on the track. Coney will be giving a presentation about shocks. Andrew Rains from Apex Pro will be giving a presentation about data acquisition. The SCCA will be giving a presentation about how to be an effective time trial driver. The crew from Racers 360 will be talking about taking that data acquisition and incorporating it into your driving and car setup technique. So a lot of extremely cool presentations going on next Thursday that we will broadcast live. We'll just have the camera pointed at the presenters, and we'll be able to follow all of that stuff all day. So please join us for that. Okay, let's move on to let's move on onto these lights, because I'm really excited about these. So our friend Chris Capaldi, who was a dude who we got to do some World Challenge racing with back when he was working with his dad's team at Capaldi Racing. Great family, cool guys. He contacted us recently and said, hey, I'm working with this company called Risk Racing, who's mostly involved in the motocross scene, but they have some really cool shop accessories, and I know you guys are into that stuff. So I was like, hey man, we're always looking to check that stuff out. You never know what's going to show up, and what showed up kind of blew me away. So I'm a sucker for cool gadgets. I'm a sucker for stuff that works better than I expect it to, and this stuff is really cool. And again, answers to questions I didn't know I had. Like this is a USB rechargeable, battery powered drop light, and it's gonna. Let's see if we can point that at the camera really quick, and you can see how bright that is. This is great. This is a $50 piece, completely cordless, incredibly portable. It's even got a 1/4-20 bung under it, so if you want to mount it on a tripod, like for shooting video, this thing is going to be amazing. I know Chris and I were looking at this stuff earlier, that we were thinking about how to incorporate some of this stuff into our video, because it's compact, it's heavy duty. Again, did not realize that strides were being made in what I thought was a technology that was kind of capped out, portable lights. Somebody figured out a way to do it better, and the folks from Risk Racing with this Striker lineup of stuff is really cool. So here's some of the other stuff they have. This is clever. As soon as I got the Corvette, I realized that all the magnetic stuff I'd collected over the years was not going to be as useful as I once thought it was. But this is really cool. This is a solar rechargeable, also USB rechargeable. There's a solar recharger on there. Magnetic drop light that's also got a flexible panel on the front that you can bend into sort of any configuration. So if you need your light concentrated on one certain area, if you want to use it as a room light, it's just there's some sort of flexible metallic piece in there that keeps the thing in position, and just cool, clever stuff. I think there's a couple different modes on this one. No, that's this one. So this one has a little bit less bright mode, two different less bright modes, and then a pulse mode, which we should turn the lights off and have a rave, Chris. Wouldn't that be awesome? Also, they got what was it? Here it is. I'm blind now. I can't see anything. I'm a sucker for headlights. This is something that I started using just in the last couple of years, because I never really understood how useful it was to have a light right exactly where your face is. So I've got headlights all over this garage. And they all, except for a couple small exceptions, they mostly suck. Like most of the cheap headlights out there are just kind of crappy. Like they're cheap for a reason. This one, the Flexit from Risk Racing, it's like 40 bucks and uses some of the same material that this Flexit drop light does. So it's super comfortable. You said super. And it also has, I'll turn a little bit, Chris, multiple LEDs, both off to the side and directly in front to kind of illuminate everything you're looking at. And you can take this front one and aim it just wherever the heck you want, and it just stays there. It doesn't ratchet. It's actually flexible, and it kind of stays wherever you put it. So that's really awesome, and it's really comfortable. I probably look, kind of like a dork, but it's way more comfortable than the ones that aren't padded, for one thing. Nice little padding sweat protector in there. Not too tight, not too loose. So really cool stuff. 40 bucks for these. And finally, this is their drop light. Now I gotta be careful with this because the camera will freak out when I turn this thing on. So here, I'm gonna just kind of aim it over here. So this is a 3 LED 110 volt panel. This is plugged in, but look how bright this thing is. And that's not even aimed right at the camera. That probably just costs the camera. But cool thing about this is one of the things I hate about drop lights when you're trying to work in a car, like especially the old drop lights that have the kind of the bulb on the end, and even some modern ones might use LED panels, but you'll set them somewhere and they'll immediately go like clunk and fall over, or you're trying to use it and it's blasting light back in your face and you can't see what you're working on. These panels are all independently adjustable, so if you need an area light, you can just set it down like that and illuminate everything. If you don't want the light coming back at you, you just fold these guys down and take them out of the equation. Take these guys out of the equation for a moment. If you need light going to a certain area, it's all sort of reconfigurable. It looks dope as hell too. But yeah, again, super clever, super useful. These are, I think, about 130 bucks, retail on their website, but it only draws like 40 watts. And you would, for a halogen light, you would need like a 600 watt halogen light to produce that much light, and that halogen light would get hot as hell too. And this thing, you can feel that they're on, but that is never, you could put that right against your face and the thing would never heat up. And those LEDs are also going to last forever. So again, really cool solution to a frustrating problem, and that is most drop lights kind of suck. And that is a fantastic way to fix it. So yeah, check them out at Risk Racing, and I saw some of their stuff on Amazon too, but you should be able to figure out how to get the stuff right from their website. So let's see. Yeah, somebody got welder's flash from the camera. That's a problem with doing a show about lighting. There's only so many. I'm staring into like 3D. We actually have the lights pointing up tonight because we aren't doing direct stuff. But like I'm trying to read comments over here while I'm like looking past all of our LED studio lights in here. All right, let us move on. See if we missed any questions here. So our friend Steve wants to know, where can you get a small amount of Belzona 1111 to repair an O-ring groove on a motorcycle cylinder? I don't even know what that is. You have stumped me. So, but again, for me to not know what something is, I am probably about the 238th smartest person in this entire conversation right now. So I'm sure somebody on one of our chats here over on YouTube or over on Facebook here, knows where you can get a small amount of Belzona 1111. I would Google that, but it could be porn. So I will wait till after the show to Google that. Let's move on to the next awesome thing we have to show you guys tonight. I use a lot of gaffer's tape now. I've sort of, every time I run out of duct tape, I replace it with a roll of gaffer's tape. I've sort of made that transition into using nothing but gaffer's tape for most of my duct taping needs. And that is because gaffer's tape is awesome. If you've ever heard the old Seinfeld bit, why don't they just make the entire plane out of the stuff they make the black box out of? That is what gaffer's tape is. If you've ever used duct tape that has a fabric woven into it to help strengthen it, gaffer's tape is just that fabric. It's incredibly strong. It usually has excellent release characteristics. So you can place it somewhere, you can take it off, it does not leave a lot of residue behind, and you can actually place and replace it several times. So for, sometimes even for mocking up builds, if you're, taping panels onto stuff, releases pretty well, and actually lets you, take the stuff off and put it back on to a limited extent. Also does not leave a ton of residue behind. It doesn't really stretch the way duct tape can sometimes. It's a very, very positive, solid connection. And this stuff, I use mostly this stuff from a company called ProGaff. Big roll of this stuff is like 20 bucks, which sounds expensive, but when you realize, first off, it's super easy to tear. It also tears really, really cleanly and well. So you make far fewer tape balls from it. Tears nice and complete. You don't get that little thin strip on the end where it didn't tear all the way through. Super strong. So yeah, it's just a thing that I've sort of transitioned to. We use a lot of tape in our lives. I've sort of made the transition to gaffer's tape. Also you can write on it really, really well with like a paint marker or a Sharpie, whereas you cannot write on duct tape. Sometimes like any of the petroleum-based plastic duct tape, Sharpie will smear off. So just a cool thing that I like. Yeah, a couple of shout outs for gaffer's tape already. Michael says gaff is like the best combination of blue painter's tape and duct tape. It is. So if you've never used gaffer's tape before, if you probably heard the term gaffer's tape, but real gaffer's tape feels like denim. It feels like a very light denim as opposed to like the sort of plasticky feel of duct tape. So imagine like a Jay Leno style denim shirt. It's just a very light woven denim that's super sticky. Like imagine if Jay Leno's entire shirt were made from very sticky tape, and that is what gaffer's tape is. So start making the transition towards that. Okay, that was a nice quickie. Let us move on to, let's do the riv nut thing real quick. I just want to throw a shout out there for another one of my favorite tools, which is my Astro nut setting tool. This is a riv nut tool. This installs blind fasteners into panels. This one is available on Amazon for under 70 bucks. I think it's like 65 bucks or so, and it comes with a little bit of an assortment of some threaded inserts. Everybody who has a race car or a track car that does any kind of light fabrication should have one of these. And when you go buy one of these, get this kind. You might later need to get one of the squeezy pistol grip style kind, but in general, the squeezy pistol grip style kind suck. These are far superior. The butterfly style. This one comes with 6 different collets. This is what you do with them. These are the mounts for our AJ Hartman Aero left. This is where our, no, wrong side. Left hand upper, there we go. These are our canards over here. They mount right on the surface of the car. So this is our plastic front bumper that these nutserts are sunk into, and they've held up at Daytona at 160 miles an hour without any problem at all. If you ever need to put a threaded hole in a blind panel, something you can't get to the back of, to get a nut on there, this is how to do it. I don't have any idea what I did before these. Yeah, we got some more shout outs for gaffer's tape up there. It really is. Once you use actual proper gaffer's tape, you will wonder why you wasted your life so long on duct tape. So yeah, go buy a nut setter. This is the one I like. I mean, if you're in a production environment, you're gonna want to buy a high-end one. This has done fine for me. I definitely recommend don't get the pistol grip squeeze. After you get one of these and you find that, oh my God, to get into this certain area, I need one of these pistol grip, squeezy deals, maybe then go get one and get a good one. But these are so far superior just in the way they pull, the straightness of the pull. I've wasted a lot less consumables, actual rib nuts with this thing than I did with my pistol grip kind. Yeah, and Studio saying this is the first time you've seen rib nuts inserted into a plastic body panel. They were great in this plastic stuff. You actually, what I found works good in flexible materials is you drill the hole just a tiny little bit too small and just really jam that thing in there so you have almost an interference fit to begin with. And if you can find some nuts that are a little bit longer than your standard, that works well too, to make sure you get behind the panel. But yeah, make sure you have a really nice interference fit with your hole. And these things, I actually tried to pull one out, and you can do it, but you just about tear the plastic once they get a good set. And now if you're super paranoid, if you really want to be strong in there, as you set it, put a little bit of epoxy in there too, and then set it, squeezes the epoxy in there. Don't put any fasteners into it until that epoxy sets, and you've got a repair or a thread hole that is easily as strong as the material around it. All right, so let's finish off by talking about, what time is it getting to be? Yeah, let's finish off by talking about cordless tools and some of our favorites. This is another question I get all the time, or I see all the time on the Grassroots Motorsports message board. What's the best cordless impact? What's the cordless impact that I can put my wheels on and take them off? Cordless tools are not necessarily about the tool itself. When you're buying cordless tools, you're not just buying a single tool. Well, you are, but I want you to think about this the next time you start buying cordless tools. You are buying into an ecosystem of tools. So you go to Harbor Freight, you go to Lowe's, you go to Home Depot, you go on Amazon, and you order that 18 or 20 or 24 volt drill or whatever. What else are you going to do with those batteries? What ecosystem are you now a part of? And that's how I kind of want you to start thinking about cordless tools. I was in a situation where I had my little charging station over there. I had like 4 different sets of batteries. I had 4 different chargers. I'd go on the road and I have to take different chargers with me and different batteries. It sucked. It was a pain in the ass. So about 3-4 years ago, I started moving. I decided on an ecosystem, and I have stuck with it. And the ecosystem that I have stuck with is the DeWalt 20 volt stuff. This DeWalt XR 20 volt stuff, brilliant. The lineup of tools is incredibly broad and incredibly deep. In addition to the regular stuff, drills and impacts, circular saws, reciprocating saws, jig saws. I have a hand vacuum, which is amazing. Like if you just need to, like you spilled some Flamin' Hot Cheetos in your truck on the way back from an event, you know, maybe that's a thing that could happen to you. And you don't want to drag out the entire shop vac all the way out to your truck, or you know, pull your truck in the garage. Cordless 20-volt DeWalt vac does a fantastic job. So I want you to, look at the entire ecosystem of tools that you are investing in. And this is the one I've chosen, and I like it a lot. This 20-volt impact will easily install and remove lug nuts off of everything that I've ever used it for, including, you know, my 1500 Chevy truck. Of course, always, you know, properly hand torque your wheels. So yeah, this is my choice, but there's plenty of good options out there. Just when you're going into those options, make sure you understand that you are buying into an ecosystem, and before you start investing, you know, make sure that's an ecosystem that you'll want to continue with. The one specific tool I will recommend from a manufacturer is this guy right here. You can see the mileage on this thing. This is a Milwaukee M12 cordless ratchet. Oh my God, is this thing handy. If you've ever used an air ratchet, it's basically that with a little less torque and no cord, no air hose going to it. Batteries last forever in this thing. I know some folks have had bad luck with these batteries, but I don't even take my charger with me when I go on the road anymore, because these batteries just last so long. These are about 140 bucks. There's two versions of this. There's this one, and there's a more heavy duty version which sells for about $100 more. I actually like this one better. The heavier duty version, it's a little more torque, but it's big. It's big and bulky, and the head on this thing is the size of a standard ratchet. The head on the heavy duty one is like it's like twice the mass. So if it fits your specific need, it's great. Otherwise, save the $100 and get one of these. I mean, the best recommendation I can give you for this thing is look how this thing has just been, you know, used and abused, and every time I work on something, this is the first thing that goes on my tool cart. So I really dig that a lot. So where are we? Yeah, Serpent says he's got the same 20-volt XR. Oh, and he was able to take off axle nuts with the XR. Yeah, so I hardly ever fire up the compressor. Actually, the thing I fire up the compressor for is cleaning the shop. You know, I'll blow out if I'm being like cutting fiberglass or something. I fire up the compressor to blow it out. I hardly ever fire up the compressor to use air tools anymore. Most of my 20-volt stuff has an air equivalent. Like I use the angle grinder with a cutoff wheel on it to cut stuff. I use this thing all the time. This is not quite as powerful as some of my air ratchets, but it's a rare job that I gotta pull out the air ratchets for. Yeah, the DeWalt 20-volt stuff, absolutely kick ass. Let's see here. Yeah, somebody's recommending Hilti stuff. It's good, but it's spendy. It is definitely spendy, but it is nice stuff. Let us now. We've talked about all this great stuff. I want to tell you about the other great thing we have in our shop, and if you have the opportunity, I definitely recommend picking some up. As a set of Intercomp wireless scales. These are invaluable for setting up an automobile. These scales will basically stay under the car whenever it is on the lift, and when I moved from a set of wired scales to a set of wireless scales, their usefulness increased exponentially. It's so much easier to deal with wireless scales than it is having wires going everywhere. If you're going to set up wireless scales, like, it is for the specific purpose of corner weighting your car, you take them out, you hook them up, you corner weight the car, you take them apart, you put them away. These, you just throw them under the car, you can do whenever you want it, no big deal. Fantastically useful. We love these Intercomp wireless scales. We're going to use these scales to play a little game we like to call What's It Weigh, presented by our friends at Intercomp, where you can guess the weight of heavy objects for fabulous prizes. We're going to lower our Corvette down onto the scales in just a moment. I'm going to walk around, switch them on. You guys think about what weight you want to guess, whoever comes closest without going over. Send me an email and we'll send you some crap. And here is the configuration of this here Corvette. This is no longer the carbon fiber commemorative hood, because it's got several holes cut in it now. It's not about to cut up a commemorative edition carbon fiber hood. It's got 3 very, very large holes cut in it that we have inserted very, very light carbon fiber pieces from AJ Hartman Racing to vent our under hood area. This is a stock C5 carbon fiber hood, 3 very large holes cut from it. Stock passenger seat, Kirky driver's seat with a few pieces of the cover missing because we're actually in the process of pouring a seat mold. Still has all the carpeting intact. There's what's in here? There's our chill out systems driver cooling system is in here. Our 4-point auto power roll bar is in here. Our Spa Technique fire system is in here, a little fire bottle about yay big, and some plumbing. It's got its full complement of belts and a steering wheel and a couple little electronic doodads. Half a tank of E85 fuel. Carbon fiber wing from AJ Hartman Racing on the back. Cheap eBay spoiler on the front. It's got our cheapy eBay flares. The wheels on here are a set of 18 by 10.5 Z06. Actually, there's 2 original Speedline Z06 wheels on here and 2 replicas. And a set of very, very well used, but still shockingly fast BF Goodrich R1S tires, size to 315, 30/18. So start getting those guesses in right now. I will figure out where I put, oh, there it is, where I put the wireless scale head. All of our scales are zeroed out. Let's see, we got some guesses coming in already. Yeah, Dinesh has a loose Cheeto under feet. Dude, it is filthy under there. Warren, 3176, 2969 for Simon, 3097 for Richard, 3350 for T-Mac on YouTube, 3123 for Studio, Calvin 3105, Robert 3172. Ah, you guys are close. Ted 3242, 2888 for Carl on Facebook. I will say, Carl, I wish. 3269, Ian, 3222 for Brett, 3108 for Bill, 3100 for Mark. All right, last call. We will lower this baby down onto the Intercomp wireless scales, and we will see what she is weighing at the moment. Here we go. I think somebody may have actually nailed it. Somebody came real close. I think somebody was just over. $50. Okay, the weight. All right, we're cutting it off right there. The weight of our 2004 Chevrolet Corvette Z06 project car is 3,138 pounds. So Andrew Wong was just over. Dinesh, 3101, you were close. Warren, boy, you were just over too. Bill Jones, 3108, I think just edged out Dinesh on Facebook. What do we got over here? We got a 3100. Oh, Studio 3123. I think you got it over on YouTube. So I think it's Studio VRM over on YouTube and Bill Jones over on Facebook. So yeah, both you guys shoot me an email, jg@grassrootsmotorsports.com, with name, mailing address, and t-shirt size. Can't promise there'll be a t-shirt in there, but if there is, we'll know what size to send you. And we'll send you guys a stack of GRM goodies, jg@grassrootsmotorsports.com. And yeah, thank you very much for playing this edition of What's It Weigh, presented by Intercomp. Boom, and we're out of that. So, what's coming up on the show in the next couple weeks? Next week, no Wednesday show, but there will be a Thursday daytime broadcast of all of that great content from Holly Day at NCM Motorsports Park at Time Trial Nationals. So make sure to tune in for that. There's going to be some really, really cool stuff. Some of it's not going to be moderated, so they might not be able to field questions in real time, but I know some of the presenters will be trying to watch the feeds as they come in. I will be checking in and out. I'll be actually doing some broadcast stuff that day and actually some car tuning that day, running the practice day. So I'll be checking in and out and trying to keep things running smoothly. But there's going to be lots of great content going up on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and SCCA will be sharing that stuff as well. So that is next Thursday, which is the 25th or 6th or whatever the date of next Thursday is. Watch the website at grassrootsmotorsports.com. Watch our Facebook, and you will get updates about that next week. And after that, let's see. So after Time Trial Nationals, I'm selling the engine in this car. Oh yeah, Chris, you didn't even ask about this when you came over. This big box sitting right here. What's in the box, you ask? Oh, I'd be happy to tell you. It's a 376 cubic inch LS3 based engine that is going to be going in this car right here. 530 horsepower from Blueprint Engines. This is a brand that Summit carries. So it is an all aluminum LS3, 530 horsepower, sort of their equivalent to the GM LS376 525 engine, their take on that. So that will be replacing the engine that's in here. Probably not going to do it before Time Trial Nationals. I mean, that's an LS6, this is an LS3, so by rights it should be, half the time to put it in. But we wait until after Time Trial Nationals, and then that starts getting swapped in, along with a sort of rebuilt transmission that will be dropping off our transmission at Gear Effects in Charlotte for sort of a complete refurbishment. They're going to be micro polishing certain surfaces, crack checking everything. We've got some great content we'll be producing with them about transmission metallurgy. What is going on inside your transmission at a molecular level? How do you identify failures after they happen? How do you prevent failures before they start? What can you do to the gears and synchros and shafts inside of a transmission to make them work better than the factory ever intended them to? And I am really, really excited about working with them. So Dinesh says we're going to need an unboxing video. Actually, I'm a little stumped now because we live right behind a plant that makes styrofoam. They make like giant styrofoam castings, and they have a forklift. Although like they never use their forklift because they make styrofoam. So half the time you see guys loading trucks out there, it's like just a dude who comes along with like a giant, 5 by 5 cube of styrofoam. He's like, oh, put this in the truck. So they hardly ever use their forklift, but they do have a forklift. And I was able to borrow it today, and they drove it off the UPS truck and over here and parked it there. And now I got to figure out how to get it down to the shop where Chris works at VMP to get it put in. So Chris, why don't you take that home with you tonight and just take it to work? Yeah, it's not going to fit in Chris's GTI. So Ted wants to know how much for the old engine. So funny you should mention that. The day after Time Trial Nationals, we're going to MCR Tuning up in Bowling Green and plucking this engine out and selling it to a local Kentucky gentleman there who I think was watching earlier, that he can reveal his his identity should he choose. I don't know if he's keeping it a secret, but yeah, our buddy in Kentucky up there is going to be already committed to buying the motor. So immediately after Time Trial Nationals, pop it out of there. I tow a shell home, drop the transmission off on the way back to Florida, and we are good to go. So that is exciting. Yeah, Ian wants an unboxing video. Maybe we'll do an unboxing video. That's that's a great idea, Chris. We should do that in the next couple weeks before we an uncrating. Although I don't want to fully uncrate it, but we do need to get it up onto a crane or an engine stand or something, because we gotta install the dry sump and whatnot. I've said too much. Yeah, Michael says being sold to a fellow TT driver. So yeah, we're stoked about that. All right, gang, that is the show. We'll see you next week, next Thursday, from NCM Motorsports Park in Bowling Green, where we will be broadcasting the holiday festivities. Lots of great presentations. Watch the website at grassrootsmotorsports.com. SCCA just released the full lineup of those, so we'll get a news item together, and we'll give you the schedule for all of those. We'll have that available in the next by the end of this week. We'll have that schedule together on the website at grassrootsmotorsports.com. Yeah, you guys that won, email me. We'll get you hooked up with some stuff. Thank you very much to the folks that support this show. Obviously, our friends from CRC Industries. We'll see them at the $2,000 challenge coming up in October. On the web at crcindustries.com. Even better, at a retailer near you, Lowe's, Home Depot, Harbor Freight, Walmart, any major auto parts store, got that CRC stuff. Also, Coney Shocks, coney-na.com on the web, or any major retailer like Tire Rack. Whatever you're driving, however you're driving it, from your tow vehicle to whatever you're towing to the track with that tow vehicle, Coney has shocks to make it better. Specialty Products Corporation, spcalignment.com on the web. You need control arms, camera kits, caster kits, whatever you need to make your wheels pointed in the right direction for performance. SPC has it, spcalignment.com on the web. And of course, intercompracing.com on the web. You can get great products like the wireless scales that we used to figure out that our Corvette weighs 3,138 pounds, and some great guesses by you folks. All right, thanks very much for joining us tonight. Thanks all you folks over there on YouTube. Thanks to everybody on Facebook. We'll see you again next Thursday, and live show. Not many regular Wednesday live shows in the fall. We're scaling those back, but we are producing canned content. Chris has been over here we've been shooting a bunch of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of pre-produced videos, and those are going to be dropping on Wednesdays as well. So there's going to be new video content from us pretty much every Wednesday, whether it's a live show or whether it's a canned show. That we're going forward. Those will be mixed up a little bit. We've been doing lots of cool stuff. We made a seat insert for the Corvette. We'll do an unboxing video of the LS376. So yeah, lots of cool stuff coming up from the multimedia department of Grassroots Motorsports. Thanks very much, Colin. Thanks very much for manning social media. Big shout out to Colin working the boards tonight. Thanks to Chris, as always, running the camera. I'm JG. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on this edition of Grassroots Motorsports Live. We'll see you again next Thursday, everybody. Good night.